Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, here to this portal. Okay, vortex of energies. Here is my hologram where I'm sharing information based on my direct experiences, and yeah, just kind of my story, everything that I went through, and how I've been approaching my situation, and how yeah, we have to remember who we truly are and how to exit the matrix, right? And I'm mostly dealing with this whole kind of military section, this military covered operations, PSYOPs, and have project for veterans, and of course for DARPA, for those black magicians in the higher echelon, the power elite with their psychic abilities, because I'm part of that lineage. But we make sure that we're ending the cycle, and also finishing the contracts with the negative ones. So there are lots of good news, and the ascension already happened in those extremely high dimensions. But here individually, we have to do our own homework. We have to work on ourselves. Okay. Organically, naturally, right? Being in nature, or just kind of, whether it's walking on the beach, or doing yoga, or some meditation, transformational work, and pretty much working on ourselves, working on our diet, very important. Watching our thoughts and feelings and emotions, being extremely mindful, right? Because now everything's amplified, and remember, we're the transmitters, emitters, receivers of energies, right? So what are we creating? What we're co-creating, and so very important to be strong in your inner core, and just building the momentum of who you truly are, because this matrix, and everything we've been here, what is it, programmed, right? It shows us, the matrix is showing us who we are not. And yeah, and it's that kind of misinformation has been coming from extremely high places and from that invisible realm. So time to read energies, and just kind of time to be comfortable with everything what is now transpiring, in a way, if you're in the know, in the now. So some of us, we've kind of known about these things for quite some time. So this is nothing new under the sun. So, those who've been kind of walking those energies of ascension and transformation, we know how to transmute the energies of the negative ones if we're being targeted, or we're encountering some extremely painful, tragic events, right? So know that you're a spiritual being having human experience. The life doesn't end in this physical form. That's some of those beautiful souls, they even chose to be in that astral plane. They already chose to exit this matrix, right? And so yeah, understanding things on a soul level is very important, on an energy level, because that 3D ego mind, the linear thinking, especially the patriarchy and the misogyny, this is not the way to go. And especially in the military, war begets war, and all this terrorism, right? It's been going on for quite some time. And just reading more and more about even the history of the United States, right? The military, the KKK, these terroristic organizations, and of course the Nazi also coming over here. And that's what happens when veterans don't have a space or place, some kind of environment where they can heal from all these wars and from all these pain and suffering that they are going through. They so much dissociate from all that, right? Because of the pain. And then of course they have all these addictions, right? And instead of taking time for themselves and start kind of remembering their true nature, right? They're just kind of continuing, and they're amplifying that in that war that is within themselves. Then they are projecting those kind of energies outside. And you see these other terroristic organizations, whether here in the United States, well, what is the United States corporation, with the institution being suspended? All this federal law or federal government is actually run by the black nobility, mafia, yeah, cartel, Swiss banking cartel family, Davos Group, Bilderberg Group, and so on. So one part is being educated about all this, and the other part is feeling into it, and it's through your soul signature, energy signature, and it's through loving yourself, taking care of yourself, being forgiving, right, and being compassionate. And that's how we are transforming these energies, and how we are exiting the matrix, and we can transcend and transition to the next harmonic universe, right? Soul connection, consciousness expansion, living in peace, unity, harmony, Christos Sophia consciousness, joining the galactic star family, right? And being a cosmic citizen under the law of one. That's the Emerald Order, Emerald Covenant, Cosmic Sovereign Law. In that military section, again, we're implementing the Galactic Codex, right? Or, you know, the Galactic Law, the systemized code, or, you know, ethics. Ethics for me, that's the spiritual discipline, that's yoga, okay? Those yamas, niyamas, those are first two steps in yoga philosophy, or yoga philosophy, okay? And yoga is also science. It's not just like some kind of philosophy. There's so much science and proof, especially those who meditate, and especially those who are warrior monks and, you know, the Shaolin warriors, right? Or ninja, samurais, and so on. There is like a warrior protocol, right? That through inner work and martial art and being in nature and understanding the platonic solids and the 5 elements, that's how you know, start understanding and how to really fight the enemy, first within yourself and then outside of yourself. But you have to have some kind of tools and healing tools. So that's kind of what we are trying to provide. I mean, so many of them, they're on Ascension Glossary, Lisa Renee, or the reading all the newsletters just helped me to get back on track. What a bleep, you know. I'm introducing yoga to military, and I got a backlash, and now I'm dealing with AI, with drones. I'm dealing with you know, this whole you know, fallen angelics, right? Or the just kind of this whole kind of military industrial complex, or, you know, the terroristic organizations. And, you know, I had no idea. And it's just like, okay, well, you were not trained. How in the world do you, I guess, want to introduce yoga if you have really no idea what's going on, and how those guys are going through horrible pain? And like I said, the recruitment is nothing but abomination in those military bases. That's, again, my experience. Only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Maybe for some people or some of those guys, it's fun. I don't know. But, you know, this whole gear, this all equipments from DARPA, all these skeletonics, robotics, cybernetics, is actually destroys their aura energy field. It siphons energy from coccyx area. It totally shatters their heart center. And of course, you know, they're totally mind controlled or brainwashed, you know, especially so many things, the pollution, all this degradation happening from those injections, right? And then, of course, the AI running through their uniforms, and oh, you have the radio frequency, right, on the military bases. And, you know, you have like these huge big what is it, you know, energy disruptions, even from these horrible construction of HARP and CERN, right? And you know, it's unfortunate that there's been so much violence from space, right? The silent energy weapons. So because the negative ones, they are waging silent war with us, you know. It is psychological warfare, spiritual warfare, however you want to call it. And yeah, so through 5G tower, Wi-Fi, through our phones, computers, guys. So time to protect your field, your aura, your energy field. I mean, your frequency, vibration, being your heart, even like protecting your vital organs, right? So because you, like I said, you can get stroke, you can get heart attack, and you know, it can be actually done remotely, wirelessly, right? Because chemtrails, you know, all kinds of interesting, horrible chemicals actually in the water and food and GMO food, right? And in the air, soil, in the atmosphere. So this is crazy what they've been perpetuating and what they've been kind of doing for so long. As you know, the galactic war has been happening for millions of years, we can say millions of years. But you know, that's why it's their time is up, right? And so everything's going to cosmic trials, divine justice, the galactic military tribunals. And that's why, you know, the galactic warriors and the Ashtar Galactic Command, the High Command, like we are here and just holding the frequency vibration for you know, restoration of people's consciousness and for the transformational work that needs to happen, right? And it has to happen collectively, individually here on this planet, but we are holding the energy of Christos Sophia consciousness, and we are bringing the cosmic energy, the plasma wave frequency, right, the gamma ray frequencies here online for that to happen. And of course it has ascension symptoms, right? And you just you have to take care yourself on 4 body levels, right? So you have the physical, you have to take care of yourself, you know, as body physically, right? But also emotionally, that's the astral plane, that's also your soul, right? So claim your power back, resurrect all your energies, and then you're doing on that mental level, and then spiritual level. So however you want to interpret it, there are all kinds of, you know, diagrams, and actually this one is good to look at. I think I showed it the last time, you know, how you know, all these dimensions, and let me see, how do they call it, the ascension vehicle for God world domains. We have the ascension portals already established, you know, the cosmic portals. Now with also the astral reconstruction, right, happening probably a couple of years ago, and we have the correction of the galactic core. So each and everyone has access to these higher vibrational energies, you know, frequency vibration, that's who we are. And so very important, you know, here for humanity, walking those energies of love and faith and trust and grace and gratitude. Like I said, gratitude that brings you in that 0 point, a divine neutrality. That's how we can transform the density, the negative ego, that shadow self, right? Very important to acknowledge it, see it for what it is. Feel your pain body, because then you know, you make the unconscious conscious, say, oh, thank you, aha. So what kind of measurements am I taking, right, for my healing, for raising the frequency vibration, being calm. Very important to be calm in the middle of the storm where everything is happening at once, right? So, you know, have your balance, and walking mindfully, very important. So that's why we have the tools. I have the transformational tools for my soul sibling veterans, right, who then ended up in terroristic organizations, extremely well corrupted, their DNA extremely damaged, and you know, mind control and abused and violated, tortured, even sexually abused, right, being raped and so on. So I'm working with those kind of higher dimensional tools, like invocation of the violet flame, you know, chanting, japa mantra meditation, listening to solfeggio tones, healing music, right? So very important to work with colors, coloring frequency, you know. This is the same kind of diagram here, chart, but you can just kind of feel the frequency vibration of all that, okay? So, you know, surround yourself with beautiful paintings and pictures and art, right? Or buy yourself a flower, very important, because we are bringing the divine energies of Holy Mother, Divine Mother, of Mary Sophia, Fatima, okay, back online. And so that's how that will help us to heal, and that way those guys can heal their divine masculine that has been so shattered and scattered and has been desecrated, and you know, they were hacked, their DNA hacked, and they just ended up in those electrostatic bodies, not having any channeling, not having connection to their soul, right? Because there are all kinds of technology. It's from Zeta, right, from DARPA. They split their heart from their sexual organ, as well as called splitter technology, the Zeta seal. You have the 666 Templar seals, and then the crucifixion implant. So even, you know, the whole religion, kind of mind control religion, that somebody died on a cross for our sin, you know, transmute these energies, because now, right, we are responsible for our thoughts and feelings and emotions. The emotions, those are usually dogmas. And of course, we are divine, angelic. I mean, this body was designed with 12 strands of DNA. Let me see, Diamond Sun DNA. And just to believe that somebody died for our sins, like, you know, so being born as sinners, no, we came here to experience life on planet Earth, and there's a responsibility, but of course we are here free to experience whatever either we need to experience or what we are choosing to experience. And all these laws and constrictions and all these conditioning, and you know, the Satanism, Luciferianism, right, pedophilia, and the money magic and black magic, and just, you know, this whole kind of 3D matrix. It's showing us who we are not, like being so constricted and restricted, and everything is in reverse and upside down, right? It's like I mean, those who feel things, like we know, like, oh my god, what did I do? How come I ended up on this? This is a wrong planet. I'm not supposed to be here, right? I knew, you know, when I was 6 years old, like that this is wrong here, and there is no justice, and look how people are living. This is not normal, and all this greed and money, right? And especially, unfortunately, here, this materialism, consumerism in the United States, with the Constitution being suspended here, right? So we need to resurrect these energies of freedom, of love, and peace. The Constitution of 1776, right? It needs to be brought back online, but it's through our inner work, through that divine spark of our creation. We are the co-creators with the divine. So you know, being born as a sinners, and somebody was crucified because of our sins, again, it's a programming, it's a mind control, because Yashua, he was a yogi, right? Even though he was born in Middle East, he was a Sufi, right? Speaking Aramaic, right? So totally different tradition. And he was talking about the Sophia. I was talking about, you know, the wisdom from Holy Mother Mother Mary, that was his, you know, mother, right? And of course he was talking about the Heavenly Father, right? I mean, he went to Himalaya, he studied with these sages and rishis of the Himalayan mountains, including Satya Sai Baba, Mahatavar Babaji, right? And others, you know. Once you activate your DNA, you can cloak, decloak, you know, you can do all kinds of things, you know. So we being dependent, like those negative ones, and so many people are dependent on AI, right? Their computers, and you know, all these devices and all this technology. This is not the way to go, because the guys in the military, the way they're trained through trauma-based mind control, they're open to those other dimensions, especially the astral plane, the 4D, right, where the Anunnaki are, the Zetas are, and so on. And they have all kinds of weird experiences, and because they are disconnected from Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and their soul has been pretty much hijacked, right? They end up in, like I said, in extremely dissociated kind of personality, chaotic faction, right? And multiple personalities, and dissociated, and then who they are, and then just kind of plunging into this darkness. And it just, you know, they need to be shaken up, and they need to be brought into kind of proper way of thinking, and understanding the true nature of reality. So it's a multidimensional work, lots of energy work, energetic work here in this physical plane, because we have to also honor the physicality. The material world exists because thanks to energy, right? So it's not the other way around, that we are the body and here's the energy out there. No, it's just because we're energy, and we're bringing the Holy Divine Spirit here through this energy vessel, the body, right? So we can share God's presence with each other, and sharing our gifts and talents, and you know, create this new earth, and with this new earth jurisdiction, and even with the new military space force, right, under the law of one. So, and yeah, those high-ranking military officers, they're, you know, the black magicians, you know, all this satanic council, you know, this is all now, you know, surfacing, and it needs to be rectified, right? So we're the cleanup group, we're the, you know, bring everything right side up, and there has to be on a reconciliation on a certain level, some form, because some of those black magicians, and also, you know, because I know I have a connection, my labs, because I was, you know, I have implants and so on. I kind of enter their world. I know that some of those, even satanists, they're of that, and you know, they're Anunnaki, but they're of that, well, hybrid. They are of that Pleiadian faction, and they're of rose line lineages. So it's you know, important, like reading energies is a must. Like first, you know, starting with ourselves, and then we can read the energies of others, and then we can be out there and, you know, helping others. And I'm sure there are so many beautiful beings and humans, they're helping with their children, right? Or they're kind of addressing that, or they're monitoring, you know, the activity, you know, of the cabal here on that physical plane. We're like the you know, what is it like, you have to go quadruple or sometimes a triple, quadruple, you know, you go in those etheric, higher etheric planes where we are monitoring and scanning everything from that, you know, from those higher places where they're hiding, because they have cloud technology, they have spaceships, spacecrafts, the whole red trident. Did I talk about it? You know, that all these military or underground military bases, not only on the planet here, but also on the moon, right? Moon and Mars, a huge big operations going on Mars, right? And you know, then you have the Saturn, right? All these satanic kind of blood sacrifices there, and even planet Pluto, which is 10th dimension, and it was holding the energy for them because they hijacked the energy of Tiamat. It used to be a sister planet of Gaia, of Tara, of Mother Earth, you know, Mother Nature. So see, we're dealing with negative entities, fallen angels. They know how to move planets. You know, they're extremely highly advanced and equipped with their black hole technology, the beast machine, the sex misery machine, and so on. So those guys that joined the military, right? I don't know if some of them, they have any information about it, but those are of that highly advanced souls who are empath sensitives, right? They have all kinds of experiences that they can't even put a finger, or they cannot explain it. And that creates all this chaos and miasma and all these distortions, right, in their aura, energy field, in their mind, and in their DNA, right? And there's a lots of suffering, and that's why the addictions are coming online. And then, you know, helping veterans, right? All this suicidal rate. You know, you have to kind of read the energies and see where they're coming from, and what is the vibration of their soul, right? Because some of them, like I said, of the Melchizedek order are there. That's what I recognize. They are also those blue flame. Those are the Soul of Christ, Archangel Michael lineages, and they're in those astral, or you know, they're hooked to those astral organizations. They're so-called terrorists, right? They're wreaking havoc in the Middle East, and you can again see the footages of Julian Assange. You know, those who are commanding, right? Kind of the high-ranking military officers, the commanders, and those guys who are just direct programming, just doing what they are told to do. And you know, and on a certain level they understand that this is all wrong, right? So many guys coming, they came over there, Iraq, right? I mean, what are we doing here? What is this all about? Even though all these documents were showing there's no weapons of mass destruction, how come that it was allowed to go to war? Right, and showing all this evidence, like, you know, there's it's all propaganda. And again, you know, this is kind of the history of America, unfortunately, I have to say. I'm just shocked with all these veterans coming back then, or when there was from Civil War, actually, all this KKK, right? And then, you know, how what is it, 2017, that was the lies of war. It's pretty much, it's a propaganda. It's like a business. It's like you're selling those invasions, right? And so the agenda starting, you know, back then, the beginning of 20th century. And then, you know, this whole, you know, mafia, terrorism, government, they're all hand in hand with the nobility, mafia family. So it's like, my goodness, Lord have mercy, Christ have mercy. And back then in colonial times, right, you had these, you know, Native Americans, they were just living peacefully on their land. And then, you know, the bandits are coming, hey, and, you know, shooting people. Oh, this is my territory. This is not, this is extremely barbaric here. The history on the planet Earth. I mean, some of us, like, we're shocked how in a world like humanity continues these kind of things, right? So this is not the way to go. Ashram is the way to go. Go to Rishikesh, go to Himalaya, you know, go to yoga centers. There's Vipassana also centers, 10, 11 days, like in silence, right? You got the meal 3 days, 3 times in a day. And just have your notebook and start writing things down, because the consciousness of humanity needs to be transformed, transmuted, and looks like it's going to get even more chaotic, more interesting, and then split, or the bifurcation or trifurcation of consciousness is getting bigger and bigger, a huge big gap, right? And so in a way you have to protect yourself, in a way you have to have compassion for everything that is happening, also for people that are either not choosing ascension or who are behind, extremely behind, right? Because they haven't done their homework. You have to be now very active, I would say, on that energy and spiritual level, and like more like vertically, because all these you know, external things and being too active, I would say, like externally on that kind of horizontal level and on that masculine level. No, you have to bring that Holy Mother, Divine Mother online, and it is through yoga, through meditation, loving yourself, forgiveness, and being compassionate with everything that happened to you, and have time for yourself, have solitude, right? So like right now we're on vacation for 2 weeks. You know, I was working 5 days, you know, 5 days you know, for those couple of past weeks, and I just you know, transmuting whatever I can, but then I don't have time really for myself or for the project. And now these times are coming where, you know, everything is now revealed, right? The time of big reveal, the time of split bifurcation, it's happening. And it's like the trumpet, or you know, the sound of trumpet is sounding, how you say that, because this is the day of the last judgment in a way. And now we see who is who, and it's all now penetrating, right? It's going here to this physical plane, the physical evidence, where we those who read energies, we pretty much knew that it was all propaganda agenda, the 9/11, right? This kind of holographic inserts getting into like of planes getting into those buildings made out of steel, right? And all this debris coming off of those buildings, which was a controlled demolition, was not even of this planet. And now for humanity, right, so-called the 9/11 timeline was the Maui, right? That's actually, before that, it was the Paradise, attack on Paradise with those directed energy weapons, right? The other thing, like people here, because I'm trying to understand the politics, because we're bringing the exopolitics here, like all this Cold War between the United States and Soviet Union at that time, right? Now it's Russia. It's so many of those scientists, right, from Russia and from United States, even from Germany, whether scientists or you know, how you call it, extremely talented scientists and engineers and so on, they were actually kidnapped and they went to Mars, right, to work on all these kind of projects for the Cabal, for those negative aliens, for Zetas, for Anunnaki. And then when their contract expired, they were told that the Earth exploded. Do you see the people with, you know, we're multidimensional, and there are all these timelines, right? The thing is, what we are doing, this timelines of that negative faction, they're collapsing, right? I mean, for some people, they're holding on to it. Means if you're holding to all this negativity and through fear, you're empowering the 3D matrix, right? And so when you let go, let God, and start having faith and walking those energies of faith and love, then you're slowly and surely tuning to these energies of ascension from within, because you're the co-creator with the divine spark is within you, right? You're the microcosm of the macrocosm. You are the ascension, right? You are the energy, right, of love and peace, of harmony, of balance. So once you start letting go of that negativity, of that everything of that old, right, and hold on to the divine spark within you, hold on to that inner Christ, right, hold on to that you know, that inner Christos, right? And just being in your heart and loving yourself. This is how you're expanding that consciousness of your true self, of your divinity, right? And then you can share it with others once the, you know, you reach that certain light quotient. So raising the frequency vibration, it's a must, is the key. But anyway, that information about the Mars, that's actually from Alex Collier. He was a contactee for the Andromedans, okay, and that he was interviewed in 1994. So again, when I'm studying whatever, I am, you know, kind of browsing through whether my videos or notes, you know, because sometimes I go back to my notes and oh my goodness, I already wrote that down. Like a month ago or a year ago, and now here we go again. Now it's more being amplified. Everything, guys, that we've been doing or we've been dealing with, or how we are behaving for the couple of years, you know, 2-3 for me is 3 years. This is now your trajectory, right? And more difficult, those people who are jumping, going back and forth, you know, negative timelines, being a good girl and then being a bad girl, or a bad boy being a good boy, and so on. This is you know, this is getting almost impossible, like, you know, harder and harder if you haven't really worked on your inner self, if you haven't really stick to your true nature. So the divine nature, true nature, it's amplified at the same time. All these horrible things, the unknown, right, is coming to the surface to make it known. But because you're ready, because you have your tools, because you're loving yourself, right, you're loving others, and you know, you're sharing gifts with others, you now are the ones who, you know, we're the forerunners, right? You know what to do when you're encountering interesting situations, events, people, right? If you find yourself in a trouble and so on, either I invoke the violet flame. This is what I do, right? Very important. Like I was showing you this diagram, right? So that's my galactic kind of cosmic project for the military, for DARPA, for my veterans, my soul group, right? You know, extremely abused, violated, who were drafted into these kind of anarchy, kind of terroristic organizations. And so doing the inner work, guys, this is kind of, well, that's 9 dimension, 13 dimension. So this is kind of where we are coming from, right? And actually this all going into the 14 and 15 dimension pre-matter, right? You know, you're connecting to space, to cosmic heart of Father, Mother, God. So this is kind of where we are coming from, those who are the volunteer souls, and dealing with the satanic ritual, satanic hierarchy, with those black magicians, especially DARPA, which is running the base in mathematics, because they were overriding our soul signature. They were overriding our structure, holographic structure, with 12 strands of DNA. And then those guys, of course, they ended up in the veterans, right, in the electrostatic bodies with all kinds of holes and tears in their astral field, right? And you know, their kind of energy, heart shattered, scattered, right? And look at you look at their chakras, right? And they're disconnected from Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and they cannot really channel their energies. They're in that black goo. They're like stuck. It's the electrostatic bodies. There was something else I wanted to show you, or the overlay. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so this is, we're supposed to, guys, this is how we are supposed to be, you know, running the frequency vibration, connecting to the crystalline grid, cosmic energies, cosmic consciousness. You know, we're the creators, we're the microcosm of the macrocosm, right? We're supposed to channel all these energies, living in peace, harmony, you know, creating beautiful things, and, you know, amplifying all these you know, beautiful gifts and talents that were, you know, we're inherited. You know, this is our birthright, to be free, to know our history, to be who we truly are, to be cosmic, to be galactic. Okay, and for ascension, like, as that's for everybody, for ascension, for abundance, we all, you know, we're children of the Most High, the Infinite One, right? So how come people are homeless, or, you know, they're going through all kinds of horrible, you know, tribulation and struggles, whether financially or emotionally, well, mentally here, physically, on this physical realm. And this is what the AI technology is doing, right? Especially like in the military. Instead of you with the 12 strands of DNA, let me see, the tree of life, this, you're supposed to have a, this is how the consciousness travels through these dimensions organically through inner work. But of course, you know, AI part of the consciousness, but the AI is to enhance and make life fun and make it more vivid and more closer to the divine, to God, right? This is what, especially the military and, you know, of course, humanity, this is what we've been dealing with, how they reverse everything and they're plastering their narratives upon us, right? We need to go to war over there. This is another law that they are passing, and you have all these mandates, and you need to be boom, 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 and this all this indoctrination and the mind control in religion, and even scientists, right, who are not paying attention to their heart, to their soul. They're also off, right? They're just full of also lies and deceptions, right? And you know, media and, you know, entertainment industry and so on. So this is kind of how I you know, I felt like when I was being born. This is not correct. Nothing makes sense. What am I doing here? I ended up on the wrong planet. Yeah. So so it's like what in the world? And then of course, you know, the way the energy is supposed to flow, right? So this is the reversal. This, especially those guys in the military with this whole DARPA equipment and with their machine guns and you know, their gears, they just ended up in total electrostatic bodies. Everything is reversed, right? Perverted. Everything is upside down, because the energy, the way it's supposed to be flowing, is supposed to be flowing the other way around, right? Other way, the other, and this, the red wave frequency, right? The red wave frequency and everything, you know, it takes the energy, it siphons energy from them, especially from sexual energies. It shatters their heart center, so they have no protection on their heart. That's why the mind control and the direct programming is then easier for the cabal, like for the black magicians to you know, implement in their energy field, right? In there. And then even you know, the mind control, instead of, you know, having positive thoughts, positive you know, differentiating what is right, what is wrong, like the discrimination, it's not there. They're just you know, following blindly and kind of executing those orders. And then, you know, if they have awakening of their heart, of their soul, some of them can be shocked. And unfortunately, you know, so many of these veterans, they say like, oh, drinking beer is much cheaper than going to a therapy. But that's kind of, I would say, not a smart thing to say, because, you know, especially if, you know, they have families, and, you know, if you want to grow, if you want to evolve, this is part of the protocol, Ascension protocol. Everybody has to embark on their individual soul journey, you know, be your own hero. And this kind of, you know, comments are not going to help anybody. And especially, like, you know, like I said, this is it's, I would say, almost inappropriate just to kind of give up on who you truly are and just being passive, right? So time to be spiritually very active and spiritually focused, and just doing the inner work, the transformational work, and bring the divine feminine back online, because that's how, you know, those guys, you can heal your divine masculine. So, and all this, I understand the stigma, right? And calling them cowards and so on. Well, you know, once you strengthen yourself in spirituality, in virtues, ethics, right, morality, that's how you become the strong spiritual warrior and defenders of truth. And that's how you start understanding your true real power, not through, you know, all these military equipments and, you know, these guns and how you call it, the spy kind of sniper guns. It's all running all this reversal. It has horrible energy that it takes your heart, it takes your light body, and you know, you're sinking down into that downward spiral with all these addictions and hunting girls and being on drugs and alcohol. How in the world can you, like, just common sense, how in the world you can be a strong warrior and fighting for the freedom of this country? You see how the entire agenda, how everything's being upside down, perverted, reversed, and makes zero common sense. Those are all the evolved souls and who read energies, right? So again, you want to become a digital avatar, because not being, you know, spiritually selfish and not being spiritually active, you're pretty much, you know, kind of allowing the transhumanism, even transgenderism, right, into your consciousness, into your hologram. So, and so very important, you know, whether you want to be digital avatar or Christos avatar, it's you know, now upon each of us, or, you know, especially like in the military section. That's why I have the project. And you know, of course, you know, I'm just doing all these connections, especially on the astral plane and you know, in that etheric plane, and I'm just being divinely guided. Very important to be divinely guided, because like I said, they have the MIC, the Shadow SSP, the DARPA. They have highly advanced alien AI technology for mind control purposes, to create those super soldiers or super marines for psychological operations, for black projects, right? And they are using the highly sophisticated technology, astral alien implants from Zeta, from Dracos, right, to invade the human bioneurology and the central nervous system. So once they get into your central nervous system, you're like automaton for them, right? You don't have time to think, you don't have time to contemplate, you don't have time to meditate, you don't even know how. And so they are recoding humans' neurons, right, to reverse the spin of the quantum particle of the mind. And those guys are running the base 10 mathematics, those Metatron reversals, right? And so the goal to design the digital avatar in the virtual reality, transhumanism, transgenderism, to serve, you're serving the agenda of those negative aliens. Some of those young guys, veterans, right, on the street, you know, or in prison, or they're homeless, or they're in hospitals. Some of them, they join terroristic organizations, right? And you can even see how their aura energy field, I mean, is dark beyond darkness. They're totally enveloped in black goo, and they're just portals of those dark entities serving the agenda of those negative aliens, especially the Orion group and the Zeta Collective. So the Draco Federation, right? It's very satanic, Luciferian nature, and you know, you're establishing one world order, but the agenda, right? The original goal, or why join military, is to protect this country. And here we go, you're running reversals, so it's the other way around, right? And understand, you know, the military, the recruitments, the whole black magician, the subliminal messages, and you know, the secret societies with their reversal, especially the swastika. That's actually 7D, looks like 7D dimension, 7th dimension. It's actually also from Hinduism, and it should represent abundance and peace and harmony and prosperity, right? But because of the energy currents are reversed, it actually has the destructive power of it, right? And then, you know, we talk about the Nazis, and so maybe next time I can talk more about what I think about the whole, you know, Adolf H. and you know, so-called his death, and Führer and the Nazism here actually in the United States, you know, with the Constitution being suspended, and this whole Congress proving, you know, war after war, which was nothing but a propaganda, because was it Franklin Roosevelt didn't listen to his divine guidance. To me, he was a starseed. That's what happened when you're a starseed. You do have a responsibility to be divinely guided. Otherwise, those dark negative forces will infiltrate you, your mind, your heart, your soul. And then, you know, unfortunately, whether willingly, unwillingly, then you're serving the agenda of those negative aliens. So very important to activate, to understand that, and time to switch from the digital avatar into diamond sun avatar, right? Through your sacred crystalline heart, and become the Christos Templars, right? The defenders of truth, divine justice, and peace on earth and the entire solar system. And so next time we'll talk about, you know, these are the kind of bullet points here, what is very important to establish. First, you know, with your intent, with your intention, and with your consciousness, you know, through mind, right? And start practicing and using those spiritual healing tools, so you can shift from that black magic, from those satanic kind of ritual kind of hologram, right? Switch from those terroristic organizations, and you can be part of the Galactic Command, the Ashtar Galactic Command, you know, that's the Andromeda, part of the Crystal Star family, and serving the law of one, and you know, being the defenders of truth, and being the true spiritual warriors, and you know, just what's the word for it, and having a beautiful just kind of beautiful beautiful life. And anyway, the energies are too intense, guys. I have to stop. So many blessings and namaste. I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.